Insurance isn't a one-size-fits-all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy. Or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple for you to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A BetterHelp ad. Therapy isn't just for times of major challenge. It's a valuable tool for anyone wanting to improve their well-being. It can help you develop healthy coping skills, set boundaries, and support personal growth. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a fully licensed therapist right from your phone. No commuting, no waiting rooms. And you can switch therapists at any time. Sign up at BetterHelp.com and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans and Cleveland fans all around? Welcome to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Josh All, your host on a Tuesday, and let's just hope that all of your weeks started off as good as Cleveland sports did last night, Monday night. KC Concepcion, the Browns' first-round wide receiver, throwing out the first pitch at the Guardians game. Cleveland ends up beating the Angels 7-2, and then he bounces right across the sidewalk and does the sword pull at the Cleveland Cavaliers playoff game against the Detroit Pistons, and the Cavs come out with the victory 112-103 and tie up the series 2-2 on their way back to Detroit. But the big thing last night, man, Donovan Mitchell, before we dive into Browns talk here today, holy crap, 4 points in the first half. Looked like it was just headed toward disaster for the Cavs last night. And then out of halftime, record-setting performance. Donovan Mitchell, 39 points in the second half, ties the all-time NBA playoff record for most points scored in a single half of a playoff game, and he ties, what was his name? Eric Sleepy Floyd from the 1987 Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference semis, I think, against the LA Lakers. I forget, I did a quick research here this morning, but either way, Donovan Mitchell dropping 39, just toasting the Detroit Pistons. It's like, man, if you guys can come out here and just manhandle these guys, go to Detroit and do it. Go up there and get one, and then come back here and wrap this thing up. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about the Cavaliers. Do they still have a shot in this series, or once they get back to Detroit, is it just all right back to getting pushed around and losing these games? But it's awesome to see them tied up 2-2. Very exciting time right now with Cleveland. Honestly, I know it's frustrating with the Cavs and how they get to the playoffs, it seems like, every year, and then just kind of fall apart, but without being able to go anywhere, reach the distance, all that kind of stuff. But it's still great that we're there, especially if we do a Browns podcast. We don't get to talk about the playoffs very often. So it's nice to see Cleveland sports being there and at least having a shot at the dance. So thank you guys for tuning in today. And I want to talk about a whole bunch of stuff here today. I got some voicemails to play. Message from the website. Thank you guys for sending everything in. TheDogsPodcast.com if you want to get your thoughts, questions, takes, all that stuff on the show. Head over there and send them in. Browns rookie minicamp wrapped up over the weekend. We got to see this draft class plus the UDFAs plus the tryout players. Got some names to talk about, some things to dive into from the weekend. Just a whole lot of good stuff going on here. And then we're just ramping things up, getting ready for these OTA sessions the rest of the month. And you got mandatory minicamp, wraps everything up about mid-June. I forget the exact date. And then everybody's off summer break. And the next football thing we're talking about, training camp. It's here, guys. It is here. So again, thanks for tuning in. Go to jointhedogs.com if you guys want. First of all, if you want to support the show, that is the number one way to support the show. It really helps us out a ton, and we appreciate everybody who's taken the time and who's willing to invest $5 a month into helping the continued growth of this show. And that's where you can sync up with the private Discord, get in there, hang out in the dog pack with all the diehard Browns fans in there. It's a great time. Fantasy football registrations will open on June 1st. So as long as you are a member of the dog pack, you can sign up for our fantasy football league starting in the fall. But of course, you guys want to get in now. You want to get in early. Make sure your spot is reserved, because if you wait until the end of August, there will be a deadline for signups. And if we have an uneven number for a league or whatever, it gets really hairy at the end. So just make sure you're in early, get your spot locked up. Don't worry about it. Hang out with everybody all summer long. Be part of the Dog Pack Discord, live episodes, everything we do in there. It's a ton of fun. That's jointhedogs.com. All right, I think the first thing we should talk about before we look at rookie minicamp as a whole, and again, there's not too many specifics I want to get into with rookie minicamp, just the overall vibe and some news and notes out of that. But the big thing for me, and I did the UDFA breakdown last week, and one of the guys I talked about, remember as I was doing that episode, recording it for you guys, the Browns released their list of their officially signed 12 UDFAs. And I was in the middle going through the guys that we had presumed were signed that had been announced previously. Well, Michael Coates Jr., the cornerback out of West Virginia, was one of the guys I had already talked about on that episode, but his name was not on the list of players the Browns had officially signed. So that was worrisome for me, because Michael Coates Jr. was outside of Logan Fano and Tyreek Sapp and Aaron Anderson. Michael Coates was the guy I was most excited about. And then it came out over the weekend, the Browns have officially signed Michael Coates Jr. to a 3-year UDFA deal. So he is on the roster now. He's under contract, which is great. Michael Coates Jr., the information about him, I talked about it last week on the UDFA show. So if you guys missed that, go back, check it out. But just to reiterate, the Browns do not have a solution on the roster for the slot nickelback corner spot. They don't have one. Your outside perimeter boundary corners, Denzel Ward, Tyson Campbell, we're good. Like, those are two really, really good. Obviously, and Denzel Ward is elite. You've got a great starting duo on the outside. What we've been harping on the show this entire offseason is you don't have a nickel corner. You don't have a guy that you can move in the slot and play that role. You don't have depth. You don't have depth at the position. You got Miles Harden. Yippee. So the Browns have added quite a few free agents at the cornerback position, primarily special teams guys. We signed a few UDFAs at the cornerback position, but Michael Coates is the guy who scouts project, if he's going to be successful at the NFL level, it will be after he moves pretty much exclusively to the inside of the defensive backfield to play the slot nickelback spot. Bingo, baby. That's what the Browns need. And we got him. And the reason why is it's not just the fact that that's where he can play. It's his whole scouting profile. Now, why did he fall in the draft and go undrafted? He's only 5'9", 185. So he's an undersized cornerback, which fits the mold of why he's going to play primarily in the slot. He's older. He's 24 years old. He's going to be 25 this summer. So his rookie season, he will be 25 years old. He played 3 years at community college. So he was a JUCO transfer. I believe then he went to Nevada for 2 years, finished up at West Virginia, unless I'm mixing up my UDFA profiles in my head, but I'm pretty sure that's him, Michael Coates. And the guy is tough. I think that's one of the biggest things to get excited about. He's super competitive, scrappy. He, at WVU's Pro Day, had a 4.39 40-yard dash, jumped like a 36-inch vertical. His three-cone, I think, was a 6.83 off the top of my head. Short area quickness and excellent speed. That is what NFL teams are looking for at this slot nickel position. So I'm excited about Michael Coates. He fits the mold of what you want, what teams want at that position. And the Browns need a player at that position. So that's why he is a name to watch. I believe he's rocking 39 jersey right now at camp. So if you see videos or pictures or anything like that, I'm pretty sure it's number 39. Maybe it was 38. I can't remember, but it'll be Michael Coates Jr., cornerback out of West Virginia. I'm very happy to see that the Browns got him locked up. He's, from what I've read, scouting reports and stuff, they're like, man, this kid can play man coverage. This kid can play press. He can play zone. I think the Browns got a good UDFA here. And the reason why it's worth talking about, again, 30% of the NFL is comprised of UDFAs. Undrafted free agents who no team picked in the draft. They signed afterward. And you stick on a roster primarily through special teams, and then you work your way into either a depth role, sometimes a starting position, whether it's offense or defense, whatever side of the ball you're playing on. And we've seen it with the Browns. I don't have to use any other team as an example for this. D'Anthony Bell a few years ago made the roster at the safety position, worked his way through special teams, played some meaningful snaps, started a couple games, I believe, at the safety position when we had some injuries to Delpit. And was it Juan Thornhill at the time? Or was it John? I think it was Juan. I don't remember. Either way, they both suck. And then you got Ronnie Hickman, Muhammad Diabate, Winston Reed. On the offensive side, obviously last year, Gage Larvidan. These players that get signed as UDFAs, they make it onto the roster through camp, and then you're like, okay, they're going to contribute on special teams. They start playing at their given spot on their side of the ball. I think Michael Coates probably has the best avenue for that to be the case this year. Now, not to say he's the only guy as a UDFA who could do that, but if I was betting on one guy to do it, it would be Michael Coates Jr. The other guy that during that episode last week that caught me off guard when that list came out from the Browns, Aaron Anderson, the wide receiver from LSU, was not on the list of players the Browns had officially signed. It's like, crap, that was the one wide receiver that we signed that I was excited about after the draft. He was at rookie minicamp all weekend as a tryout player, so no word yet on an official signing for Aaron Anderson, but there were clips out of minicamp that he was making some plays, making some catches, and that's kind of what I was reading. I think Cameron Justice was talking about that on X, how Aaron Anderson's just kind of all over the field making plays out here. And the other guy, Cole Wilson, the wide receiver UDFA we signed out of Baylor, had the catch of the weekend. And again, guys, before I even go any further, I know there's people out there, this might be your first time watching the show, or maybe you're a newer viewer, listener, whatever. If you're on YouTube or wherever you're watching this and you're saying, why isn't this guy showing clips? Because I'm about to tell you that Cole Wilson had the catch of the weekend, a diving grab down the field from, I think it was Taylon Green, and it was just a beautiful I can't play clips. I don't know what the rules are. I have looked, I have researched, I have tried different things. If I play a video clip, whether it's a sideline reporter taking an iPhone video at camp, or it's an NFL clip from a game in September, I can't do it. I will get demonetized. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how other people are able to get away with it. I don't know, but I get dinged with copyright and demonetization crap every single time. So no clips for you guys. Sorry, YouTube is a bunch of, I can't even say what I think about YouTube, but that's where we are. That's where you're watching. That's where we're posting. So we'll play by the rules and just go from there. But anyway, Cole Wilson, big catch down the field. Looked like he had a great weekend. Just to kind of transition, then even more talk about just rookie minicamp in general. From my takeaways, which was obviously all social media, reading, watching everything from the people that were actually invited to the practices, look like the wide receivers that we drafted are the real deal. Casey Concepcion, and there, of course, there's the one video clip out there where he dropped a pass. And that's the one that everybody wants to show, it's already happening. He's not the only player that dropped a pass over the weekend. He's not the only player who's going to drop a pass all summer. Okay? It's going to happen. We have to be patient with these guys. If his drops issue persists and becomes a really big problem during the season, okay, then we can have a discussion about, okay, what are we doing here? This needs to get cleaned up. He knows it needs to get cleaned up. I'm not going to freak out about one video of a drop pass that, maybe Denzel, but I don't know, maybe he dropped a pass at practice. We just didn't get the footage of that one. I have no idea. But either way, Concepcion making plays. I know Lance Riesland was there and posting about all these guys, said the Browns haven't had a receiver like this maybe ever. Like with how electric he is with the ball in his hand, get him the ball in space, and this is what, how many months now after having the knee scope done for KC, and they're still ramping him up slowly and not really pushing him at the full limit right now because of that, just trying to make sure he's completely good. He said he's good, but obviously the Browns are still being cautious with it. But from the time that he was on the field, by all reports, looked very explosive and very electric. Denzel Boston, big dude, man. Big dude. He's not like the big, how do I want to say this? You know, you got like your A.J. Brown, who's probably like 220, 225 pounds or whatever he is, just big, rocked up, solid, massful dude. Denzel Boston's tall, 6'4". He's a little bit more lean at the, 212, maybe 215, whatever he's listed at from the combine, but just a big physical receiver, the type of bully ball player that we really haven't had. I mean, we've got two receivers that we haven't had in a long time in Boston and KC, and they complement each other so well. I think is just, that's what I'm so hyper excited about, is the way they complement each other. You've got the short area quickness, the yak ability of KC, the zone beating ability. He can do whatever he wants to in the middle of the field, and then he can take it the distance. And then you got the other guy who's just going to go freaking dominate the outside on the boundary and perimeter. It's just, what a great circumstance for the Browns. Now, obviously, this is all on paper. It's all on paper. It all has to translate. 2 games in September and October, and so on. But on paper and in the brief practices we've had now with these guys, the Browns, we talk about things don't always go our way. The draft this year really went our way. Speaking of the draft really going our way, I mean, come on. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren looks like the absolute real deal. He's flying around the practice field. Everybody there's reporting like a safety with this size, his length, his ball skills, his instincts, his coverage ability. I mean, this is going to be an impact player starter from day one. I'm so excited for EMW. This is going to be a ton of fun. And by all accounts, just a very well-liked young man, a good-natured kid, always has a smile on his face, just good sense of humor, big-time, dedicated focus to football. Wants to be great. And that's what I think is awesome about all these guys we took, especially the first 4 in rounds 1 and 2. They just want to be great. They have that desire, that internal motivation. Like, I'm not here to just say, okay, I made it to the NFL. Cool. Hey, I got drafted. Cool. Hey, I got an NFL paycheck. Cool. And that's fine. Some people, that is the top for them. I mean, that's okay. I mean, but we got guys who that's nothing. We want to be great in the NFL. This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. All right, Browns fans, we've all messed around with the sports books before, right? And let's be honest, you're always kind of playing against the house. But with Kalshi, it's different. You're not betting against some sports book. You're trading against other real-world people. There's no house trying to beat you. Kalshi just runs the marketplace. So if you think the public is wrong, like everybody's overreacting to these smoke screens in the draft or sleeping on a prospect, you can literally take the other side of the market. And it's not just sports either. You can trade on other real-world stuff, interest rates, inflation, even wild weather outcomes. It works like this. Simple yes or no markets, your risk is capped up front, and your payout is locked in. So if you trust your takes and instincts, and I know you guys do, go check out Kalshi and see what markets are live right now. So head over to Kalshi.com/dogs, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS. Deposit just $20, and Kalshi's going to match you. They're going to put $20 free into your account. That's a great deal to get started. So again, Kalshi.com/dogs, $20 match when you deposit $20 into your account. Hey, Browns fans, we just partnered with Fanatics to bring you guys the best Browns gear available. Head over to brownsmerch.com to check out everything in our storefront. I know you guys want that new Shedeur Sanders #2 jersey. We've got those in there. Rock the Depoy and the D-Roy jerseys with Myles Garrett and Carson Schlesinger, along with the other studs from last year's draft. We've got a collection of Browns hats, T-shirts, and hoodies you can browse through too. Again, that's brownsmerch.com to check out our Browns gear powered by Fanatics.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact that you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. They make it super simple. Pop over to progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with coverage options tailored to your choices. Plus, you'll see which discounts you may qualify for, like the online quote discount or savings for paying in full. In fact, 99% of Progressive Auto customers earn at least one discount. See if you could save when you switch to Progressive. You'll feel good about making a savvy choice. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little extra cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
This episode is sponsored by Trollco. Browns fans, there's a phrase that has been used around the blue-collar world forever. Dirty hands, clean money. The idea that you show up, you put in the work, and you build your ideal life because of it. Sound familiar? That is Browns country. And Trollco is a clothing brand built around that very belief. Two guys who worked the oil patch looked around and could not find a single brand that represented people like them. So they started making workwear, tees, hoodies, and hats all by themselves. You know, gear for the person who works hard all week and still brings that same energy to the tailgate on Sundays. And I know I'm talking Cleveland in general, but Northeast Ohio is that blue-collar, work hard, earn what you have area. Whether it's you or somebody you know, a family member, your dad, your brother, uncle, whatever the case may be, you guys know what that dirty hands, clean money phrase truly means. So check out what they have to offer. Head to trollco.com/dogs. That's TROLLCO.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use code DOGS25 for 25% off your first order.
A BetterHelp ad. Therapy isn't just for times of major challenge. It's a valuable tool for anyone wanting to improve their well-being. It can help you develop healthy coping skills, set boundaries, and support personal growth. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a fully licensed therapist right from your phone. No commuting, no waiting rooms. And you can switch therapists at any time. Sign up at BetterHelp.com and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com.
And of course, I haven't even mentioned our number one pick, number 9 overall, Spencer Fano. What my takeaways from Spencer Fano, okay? Obviously, watching the video clips and reading the reports from camp, the athleticism stands out. This kid can move. He's agile, he's quick, he's got great footwork. Watching the videos of him, and again, Justin from Jersey, this is not a knock on the kid. I'm so glad we got Spencer Fano. I'm thrilled. He's got a guard's body. If you just that, and that's just me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. From watching the video clips, from watching him in his offensive line stance and everything, I'm like, he looks like a guard. He doesn't look like your prototypical offensive tackle in the NFL. But that doesn't mean anything. It's just an observation on my part. But I'm excited for him. I think that he's got a real shot. Obviously, the Browns think he can play left tackle. He's played left tackle in college. I think he's got a real shot to play there and stick there for the Browns and be their left tackle moving forward. But again, if it doesn't happen, hey, listen, guys, let's just have a real. The Patriots thought that Will Campbell was that's his name, right? Will Campbell? Man, why am I blanking here? Whatever. That he was definitely going to be their left tackle of the future. When they drafted him at, 4 overall last year in the draft? A year later, things change. You let it play out on the field. It's like, okay, that didn't go the way we thought it was going to go. Do I have belief in Spencer Fano at the left tackle spot? Yes. Would I be shocked if a year from now we're saying, okay, we're moving him to left guard and he's going to rock there and we're going to put somebody else. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me either. So let's just see how it goes. But just an observation from camp. Taylon Green, let's talk about him a little bit because he was obviously the only quarterback there. There was one other guy. It was a tryout player. Don't even remember his name. Number 11. Doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be mean to the kid. It just doesn't matter. But Taylon Green, I saw people, obviously you're going to have the Browns fans online that are like, hey, he's QB1. Oh, man, he looks great. Rocket arm. He's got the mobility and everything. I saw people saying, wow, like, who was it? Mary Kay or, it's Cleveland media people. Like, Taylon Green really stood out at Browns minicamp. I'm like, well, no kidding, he stood out. He was the only quarterback there. Like, it was him and Mr., little small school tryout dude. Like, of course Taylon Green stood out. He's 6'6", 240. Of course. Like, whatever. They need their headlines. They need their clicks. Taylon Green's very much a developmental guy. I saw a lot of people that I do respect their opinion were like, listen, he's way more comfortable throwing on the run, not as comfortable in the pocket. He's not going to be very comfortable taking snaps under center to start. He is a developmental quarterback, okay? It is what it is. Todd Monken said, yep, it's great to see Taylon Green out here. He was happy with the way that he's improved and going through his progressions through those 3 days and all that kind of stuff. But he did say he's got to take advantage of these reps now because once we get everybody in here for OTAs and camp, he's probably not going to get any reps. Like, we need to get ready for the season, which I appreciate that. I appreciate a lot of stuff about Todd Monken that I didn't anticipate when they first signed him. Obviously, you guys know I wasn't thrilled with the hire when it first happened, but I'm getting on board. It's got to play out on the field like everything else during the season. But right now, the way Todd Monken is approaching the team building, practicing, preparation, I like it. I like it a lot because we had a 4-way QB battle last year, which was a complete and absolute joke and waste of time. We wasted, I don't know how many first-team reps. I mean, and yes, I know, like, talk about reps. Guys, reps matter. I mean, if they didn't matter, then we wouldn't do training camp. We wouldn't do preseason. If that stuff didn't matter, if there was no benefit in helping guys get ready for the season, then they wouldn't do these things. It really matters. And honestly, they should be doing more. We talked to some former Browns who played back in the 80s, and they said training camp back then was brutal, grueling. I mean, it was so intense, and it's just kind of like cakewalk nowadays, but it is what it is. These guys need prepped. They need ready. The 4-way quarterback, how many first-team reps did we waste on Kenny Pickett, who ended up not even being here? We traded him. It made no sense. It was so stupid. It was so flawed looking back on it. I mean, at the time, we questioned, like, is this really the best way to go about this? But whatever. Todd Monken's not going to do that. He wants to name a starting quarterback probably by the end of this voluntary minicamp here in, what's the day, the 12th? A month? 4 or 5 weeks, 4.5 weeks from now? We might have a starting quarterback named. If not, it's going to be very early on in training camp. They're not messing around. He's not screwing around trying to get every single person ready to, start when that's not realistic. So I appreciate the realness, the candor, and just the overall football focus that Todd Monken is seeming to bring to the team right now. So I'm excited about that. A couple other things. I know Austin Barber, the Browns' 3rd-round pick. They traded back up into the end of the 3rd round. Well, not the end, but like later in the 3rd round to get Austin Barber, the right tackle out of Florida. And I saw some things about him at camp, and they said, big kid, athletic, you talk about, we got Austin Barber, we got Spencer Fano, we got 2 very large offensive linemen. These guys have great size, great athleticism. And they said that Barber was playing and taking all his reps at the right tackle spot. So the Browns do intend to keep these guys at their tackle positions coming out of college. Barber, also a guy that if they bounce him inside to play guard, I wouldn't be surprised either. He can play guard. His coach at Florida talked about that. You can play him at guard. He is obviously coming out as a tackle. That's what he played in college, but I think he does have some guard experience, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am, but either way, I think there's good chance there for him. And then Parker Brailsford, the center out of Alabama. it wasn't just Mary Kay talking about it. A lot of Browns media saying, listen, this guy, there's a shot here. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, Parker Brailsford is going to win the starting center spot week 1. Would I be shocked if he did? Probably not. What's the competition? Luke Whippler? I don't know. Like, he's also a very undersized center who's in the last year of his rookie deal, and he's been injured every year. So you get this, again, extremely athletic offensive lineman, Parker Brailsford. He is undersized, but they're betting on the athleticism and his competitive nature to prevail. And that's not a bad bet to make with players, especially when you're taking them in the 5th round. And it's a situation where if he shows that he can handle it throughout training camp and everything this summer, well, you got Elgton Jenkins right now, who I would believe is slotted in, penciled in as your starting day 1 center. He can play anywhere on the line. He can play left tackle if he needs to. He's done it before. He can play the guard spots if he needs to. He's done it before. So you could have a situation where Parker Brailsford just, lights it up and blows the rocks off everybody else at the position and says, "No, I'm taking over this spot." Well, then you got a Zion Johnson at left guard. You can move Elgton Jenkins over to your right guard and just have Tevin Jenkins be a backup guy. I think that there's so much versatility and flexibility with this new offensive line lineup and depth chart that I'm excited to see how it plays out. As a Browns fan, what the team has done this entire offseason has been encouraging, very encouraging. I was encouraged with the free agent signings, still very skeptical of the overall roster build before the draft. Coming out of the draft, it was like, hey, you have made me a believer again, Cleveland. Andrew Berry, you got me back on board. Justin Jefferson, the linebacker out of Alabama, he was looking really good at minicamp as well. His speed, his sideline-to-sideline ability, everything we were excited about when they drafted him showed up in minicamp, so that was great to see. And he was joking. They asked him, of course, you got to ask Justin Jefferson about, well, what's it like sharing a name with, Justin Jefferson, the all-pro receiver from the Vikings. And he just kind of laughed about it and said, it's been my name my whole life. I never really thought anything of it. He said, honestly, that name, Justin Jefferson, didn't become popular until he was in high school, because that's obviously when Jettis for the Vikings really took off and became, who he is. And he said really the biggest hurdle for anybody is for his mom, his family members, when they try to search for him on Google or whatever. Well, if you search Justin Jefferson, what comes up? Duh. That's why anytime I look him up, I have to put Justin Jefferson linebacker, Justin Jefferson Alabama, or Justin Jefferson Browns now, just to make sure I get the right guy. But he seems like he's got a good sense of humor. And I'm trying to think if there's any other of the rookies primarily that I wanted to point out. I think the tight ends, I saw a couple. There's a lot of speculation that Carson Ryan, the tight end we took at 248 in the 7th round, could end up locking down like a fullback, H-back type role for the Browns. We did sign a fullback, Michael Burton, I believe it was. I think he played for the Broncos last year. So we have a fullback, and then we got this tight end who, if he proves that he can block and stuff like that out of the backfield for the run game, okay, I think he's got a shot to kind of be that fullback / using that tight end as well. Joe Royer, the tight end out of Cincinnati, had some catches that I saw, some clips and things during minicamp. I like Joe Royer. Again, 5th round pick. It's hard to say a lot of these guys are going to be. I thought Harrison Bryant was going to do a lot for the Browns. He was the best tight end in college football that year we drafted him. He turned out to be a nothing burger. Joe Royer, though, looks the part. He is that big, tall, lean tight end. He's got the big catch radius, the strong hands. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to, I don't want to obviously get my hopes too far up for any of these, because anything can happen, of course, but I like him. I like Royer. I saw some clips where he was plucking that ball out of the air looked really fluid running his routes. I think that he could be a sneaky good receiving option for the. Now, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy this year, but I mean, a good complementary passing weapon to go along with everybody else that we put in here to keep going. We have Harold Fannin left, coming back from last year. We've still got Jerry Jeudy, who isn't the best, obviously, but I think that he'll be much better served and he can serve the team better as a non-primary option. Let's just put it that way. There's people saying he'll still be the wide receiver 1. Nah, he'll be the wide receiver 2. I really don't care, just as long as he's not the go-to guy in the pecking order at the receiver position. We just can't have that. But Joe Royer, I am excited about that. And then another thing, kind of going back to Taylon Green, there were some passes on the thing, and ESPN Cleveland, these outlets will, a dot from Green to Boston. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. I'm like, the clip, he threw it behind him. Like it was just a practice rep. They're just running routes and he's throwing the ball like he's not leading the receiver. He's already throwing it behind the guys and stuff. It's like, look, this kid's got some serious accuracy issues that need worked on. Okay? Like that just is what it is. So let's not get all crazy here saying that every pass he throws to a receiver is a dot, because it's not. And I know I don't want to be like the guy who hates Taylon Green. I don't hate Taylon Green. I'm trying to be the one to bring perspective back to everybody who's getting excited, because we all get excited about new quarterbacks. Obviously, when you don't have a locked-in starter, you see quarterback, new guy, especially with these athletic traits, and it's easy to get excited. It's easy to elaborate on what you see, and I'm talking about like ESPN Cleveland. Like, a dot. It wasn't really a dot, guys. Like, just take it easy, but whatever. Nope, I think the Browns had a really good draft. Is there anybody that I'm forgetting that we took? I think that was everybody. Plus some of the UDFAs. Talked about Aaron Anderson, talked about Michael Coates. So I think that's pretty much it. If there's anything else from rookie minicamp that you guys saw or read or had questions about, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'll try to get back with you. Maybe I can bring some of you, if you bring something up that I didn't hit on, I'll bring it up in the next episode, all that kind of stuff. I guess one last thing before I move into some voicemails. David Njoku signed with the Losh. Wow. You can tell I haven't done a podcast in a few days. The Los Angeles Chargers. So he signed a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Now, obviously, last week it was reported that he was out in L.A. He went to visit with the Chargers. No news came out about a signing or anything. So I was like, well, I wonder if they were going to sign him or if it didn't go that well. He hadn't been signed this whole time. But Chief will be playing with the Bolts this season. So I think that's a good move for the Chargers, honestly. They already had Oronde Gadsden, the rookie tight end from last season, who showed some promise, some flashes last year. But now you get a more proven veteran. Obviously, he's got some inconsistencies over the course of his career. He's got drops issues. He's got injury concerns, all this kind of stuff, which is probably why the Browns didn't feel compelled to bring him back. I don't know exactly. It just, obviously, there was a huge focus on getting younger and all of that as well. Played a part into it. I think David is 30, 31, something like that. I should look it up, but you guys know he's not the young guy anymore in the room. But it'll be good for their run game. They, with all their offensive line injuries last year, the blocking situation wasn't great. So I think overall, good move for the Chargers. Happy for Chief. I like Chief, man. Like he went from, this first round pick, athletic freak type player with not a whole lot of production on the field early in his career to really support that selection. And then did the whole trade request thing, wanted out of here, didn't want to be in Cleveland, had a come to Jesus moment with the coaching staff, a heart to heart. And he just was a changed man. Like, he came out and just dialed in the blocking and really focused on his craft as a tight end. Not just being this, I think it's a good point to make too. A lot of these guys that come out of college, it's the same way when they come out of high school. A lot of these guys are just so athletically gifted, you don't really have to try that hard. against your competition in high school or in college. It's like, I'm just so much bigger, so much stronger and faster than all these other guys. It just works. Once you get to the NFL, it's a whole different story because everybody's big, fast, and strong. So David really honed in his craft and became a really good tight end all around for the Browns, blocking, receiving, doing everything that they needed him to do. He is the 12th all-time leading receiver in Cleveland Browns franchise history, and he's the number 3 all-time receiving tight end for the Cleveland Browns. So he is definitely cemented in history here, played 9 seasons, almost a full decade. You just don't see that anymore, really, out of many players in this league. There's so much turnover, trades, guys hit free agency, all this stuff. So for David to play here for almost a full decade, and a lot of guys' careers don't even last more than like 3 years. A lot of guys don't make it through the rookie contract. So hats off to David Njoku. Thank you for all the memories. The 4-game stretch you had in 2023 with Joe Flacco, that was some of the funnest times, memories that we're going to have of you, and just that relationship with Joe Flacco was so fun. It really was. And then obviously there's so many big David Njoku moments, and he had some major games and things. I'll never forget against the Ravens. I think that was the 2023 game when Deshaun Watson had his big second half, and Njoku just carrying Ravens defenders for like 10 yards. I remember, I forget which game it was now, which year, but he caught a pass down around the goal line, tried to jump into the end zone over somebody, got caught in midair, and then our lineman grabbed the back of him, and they basically carried him into the end zone. And then obviously that game against Tampa Bay in 2022 at home, Jacoby Brissett, it was overtime. Was it overtime or was it to go to overtime? Now I can't remember. You guys let me know in the comments because my memory's failing me. It was either to tie the game to go to overtime or it was the game winner. I cannot remember, but he caught that one-handed grab in the end zone from Jacoby Brissett. It was incredible. So David Njoku, thank you for the memories. Great career as a Cleveland Brown. This episode is sponsored by ButcherBox for Pets. Browns fans, ButcherBox for Pets has a deal you cannot pass up for your 4-legged family members. Right now, you get 50% off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Just go to butcherboxforpets.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. It can get confusing because we're the dogs, we love our fellow dogs, our Dog Pack members, and the Dog Pound faithful. But let's not kid ourselves. The most important dogs in our lives are, well, our dogs. And they're not just pets, like I said, they're part of the family. So the question is, what are you actually feeding them? At ButcherBox, they believe in real ingredients. Their pet foods have been developed and certified by vet nutritionists to contain 0 artificial flavors or preservatives. I know our house wouldn't be the same without Odie, our 100-pound golden retriever who thinks he's a 10-pound lap dog. Absolute dumbest dog in the world, but we love him like crazy. And it gives us peace of mind knowing that we're giving him quality food instead of those factory processed blocks from the store. And speaking of the store, no need to add dog food to your shopping list ever again. ButcherBox delivers their high-quality food right to your door. Just choose the delivery schedule that you need for your dog, and you can change, modify, pause, or cancel your plan at any time. So try it out today. Your dog will love you for upgrading their meal times. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs and use promo code DOGS, DAWGS, to get 50% off. That's right, half off your first subscription order of the premium slow-cooked nutrition fresh dog food or the premium fresh dog food. Minimum purchase of just $34. 50% discount applies to subscription orders only. 1 use per customer, and you can cancel at any time. ButcherBoxForPets.com/dogs.
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, AlumaGuard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
So just to give you guys a little preview here, later in the week, we got a little bit of a commitment from Blake. He's having a rough time with the newborn at home right now. So everybody just thoughts and prayers for Blake and his wife. They've got she 4-year-old, 5-year-old. I forget how old his oldest daughter is, 4 or 5. And they got the newborn at home. It's just a tough time right now. He says she's just not sleeping. She's, unless she's being held. And I'm like, brother, I totally get it. When my son was born last year, it was the same situation for us. He couldn't sleep at night, wouldn't nap unless we held him. So it was, nap trapped all the time. I watched a lot of TV shows, caught up on a lot of movies, posted a lot of stuff on social media because there wasn't a whole hell of a lot more I could do. Sitting on the couch, holding a sleeping baby for 2-3 hours at a time just so they'll take their freaking nap. I get it, Blake. Totally understand. So we are planning to do an episode, me, Blake, Justin, later this week to talk about the schedule release. That's right. The NFL schedule release is Thursday night, 8 p.m. Now we are getting some matchups, some games released early. They're kind of doing those soft releases of other big matchups throughout the week here. But the full schedule release comes out Thursday night. So we will be taking a look at that, processing the information all day Friday, and then we're going to do an episode Friday night breaking down the Browns 2026 schedule. But if you guys want a quick reminder, let me find my list here. So the home opponents, obviously you've got your divisional opponents, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers. We play home, we play away. The other home opponents, we've got the Colts, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Texans. And on the away games, we've got the Bucks, the Giants, the Jaguars, the Jets, the Saints, and the Titans. So we got to play the Titans at home last year. Now we're going to go to Tennessee to play Cam Ward in year 2 and their new uniforms. We go down to New Orleans to play against Tyler Shuck, another quarterback that we could have had last year, but we didn't take. We passed up, and now he's starting for the Saints. We have to go to New Jersey twice to play both the Giants and the Jets. So we play Jackson Dart, who we could have drafted last year, but decided we wanted Dylan Gabriel instead. So that's fine. We play the Jets. Geno Smith. Can we go to? We went to New York to play the Jets last year, and we should have never lost that game. Unfreaking believable. Can we beat them this year? Let's hope so. Let's hope so. And then the other one is the Bucks, and I've been talking about this on social media with people, and I want fun storylines. Obviously I'm a Browns fan. I love it when there's cool stuff to get excited about with this team. I'm a Browns fan who is also a Browns content creator. I want great storylines to talk about, and that would be an awesome storyline. I think the week 1, week 2 matchups in any order, I honestly don't care, but this is what I want, NFL. If you want to make your schedule based on maximizing TV, view opportunities and just doing what gets people in front of the screen for your games, give us Browns versus Baker and Browns versus Kevin in weeks 1 and 2. That would be so fun. That would be awesome. First of all, the home matchups. The Falcons so if we host the Falcons week 1, Kevin Stefanski coming back to Cleveland in his first game as another team's coach. That would be fun. That would be fun. Then going down to Tampa Bay to play against Baker. Remember, Todd Monken was the Buccaneers OC in 2016 to 19. No, 20. I forget the years, but 2019 he was the OC for the Browns and Baker Mayfield. And obviously, the whole situation with Baker Mayfield getting traded by the Browns just so we could get Deshaun Watson in here. Imagine if Deshaun Watson's the starter and it's Baker versus Deshaun. The storylines are going to be great. That would be so fun. The other home opponents, obviously, the Texans. So Deshaun Watson's old team, the team that fleeced us for all those first-round picks. You got C.J. Stroud coming in here. The Raiders get to come here, so we're going to see Fernando Mendoza. Probably. It might be Kirk Cousins. We'll see what's going on. The Panthers and Bryce Young. And then, obviously, the Colts. What's going on there? Is it Daniel Jones? Will he be healthy? Is he, I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for the season. I think the Browns will be better than they were the last 2 years. Now, that's not saying a whole hell of a lot because they were very awful the last 2 years. But, I think that there's reason for optimism. I know I saw a thing. Christopher Knox, he's the guy from Bleacher Report that does a lot of stuff with the NFL. And Yeah, he predicted that the Browns would be 5-12 yet again. And his whole reasoning was, well, it looks like they want to start Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson is not good. And he even said, like, I question their motivation or their focus on winning games in 2026 versus just trying to position themselves for a quarterback in the 2027 draft. And I'm like, oh, that's real great. That we have national people looking at what the Browns are talking about with their quarterback and saying, well, just based on who they're planning to play at quarterback, we question whether or not they even want to win games. Cool. Awesome. I love hearing that kind of stuff. But, it's just kind of how it goes. We'll see. But I am excited for the season. Let's do this. Let's get a voicemail in here. This one is from our boy, Zach, a.k.a. Fake Burns.
What's up? It's Zach, a.k.a. Fake Burns. It's been a minute since I left a voicemail. Kind of wanted to let the draft simmer for me, really think about it, each of our picks before I said anything. Plus, I knew the voice or the inbox would be pretty full. So figured I'd hear from everybody else first and then give my take on it. Really happy about the draft. Really happy about it. I think Andrew Berry had a phenomenal draft, especially that second round. I remember I was at work and I told my buddy, hey, let me know if you see anything, if we get Denzel Boston or that safety out of Toledo. I think either of them would be great. Comes up to me and goes, yeah, we got both. I was like, no way. So I think that's awesome. I think that the quarterback, his name is slipping my mind right now, that we got in the 6th round. I like that pick solely because I want him to be our version of Taysom Hill, where sometimes he'll quarterback sneak, sometimes he'll get ended around, he'll play a little bit of tight end, kind of play everywhere, keep the defense on their toes. Way too early standings record prediction. I have us going 7-10 or 8-9. I know FanDuel's got us at 6.5 wins, so I'm smashing that over. And then also I saw at the draft they filmed for a show called The Land. It was giving me kind of draft day vibes. Kind of excited to see where that goes. If you guys haven't heard about it, it's called The Land on Hulu, and it comes out later this year. But go Browns, hoo-hoo!
Yeah, Zach, I don't think we've even mentioned that yet on this podcast, but yes, they are. Hulu's going to have The Land as this new TV series coming out. I think it's like a 6-episode drama. It's got, this like generational family component to it. It's the owner of the Cleveland Browns, the head coach, and I don't know a whole ton about it. I don't know if there's a whole lot of information really out there yet about everything involved, but I know they filmed a scene for it at the draft in Pittsburgh there, and they're filming in Cleveland, so that'll be cool. It's always fun when they make, TV shows and things about the Browns, because that's my team, baby. It's my team. I love to see it. If it was about the, Chicago Bears, I'd probably still watch it, but I wouldn't be as excited to watch it or as into it. It's my team. That is my freaking team, and I love this team, even though I can be a real stickler about them sometimes. But anyway, going back to what you were saying about Taylor Green and Taysom Hill, okay? I did a short video. I've talked about this, and I'll just reiterate one more time. I think we need to pump the brakes. I'm not saying the Browns can't or won't use Taylor Green in packages like that. The problem with it is we are comparing what we want him to do to a player who is like 32 years old, Taysom Hill, who has a decade plus, I think, of NFL experience and has spent years transitioning from a quarterback to an all-around Swiss Army knife gadget type player. So I think we got to pump the brakes on expecting a rookie quarterback who's never played tight end, who's never played running back or any of the other positions that we want him to emulate Taysom Hill. We have to pump the brakes on our expectations of what he will be able to do in year one. Because like I mentioned before, if you want him out there, and I'm talking about Browns, like if the Browns want to use him in packages and things like that, that's one less player you get to dress on game day at another position. So say it's tight end. Say the Browns decide, okay, we're going to go one tight end short here. We're only going to dress, instead of dressing 3, we're just going to dress Fannin and Royer. Well, if somebody gets hurt, you don't have a second tight end then to facilitate your offense because you use that roster spot to have Taylor Green be active. He's not trained as a tight end yet. He's not practiced there. He's not up to we don't even know if he's good at it. So I get it. I'm excited too. I think the athletic ability is there. I think a transition to wide receiver at some point is going to need to happen, like an actual intentional transition, not just he's a quarterback who, hey, we'll just every now and again put him in a package where he's out wide. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think that there is great versatility and great options coming down the road with Taylon Green. I think we just need to temper expectations for how it's all going to play out right away. That's my thing. But hey, again, like I said from the beginning, for a 6th-round pick to get that kind of athletic ability, duh, it's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. So thanks again for the voicemail, Zach. I hope you're doing well, buddy, and I hope to hear from you again here soon. I got a message, short one, real quick here from Kevin on the website. Says, can we start a petition to fire Mary Kay and Tony Grossi? I can't stand listening to them. I only listen to them when I want to get mad. Yeah. It's just funny how by doing this podcast and being active on social media and everything, like just sort of inadvertently run into conflict with some of these Browns media people. We've had our, tussles with Tony Grossi on X in years past. He blocked us for a couple years. I think we're unblocked now, and I don't even know if we did anything that bad. We're just kind of pointing out some of his whatever. Mary Kay, I don't know. I mean, I've never met her in person, but let's just say the few messages that have been exchanged haven't exactly been the greatest from her. But whatever. Either way, trying to think how I want to explain this. Somebody like Mary Kay working for Cleveland.com, she does a lot of different things, but she gets paid primarily on clicks. So how many times does somebody click and open and read your article on their website? Because everything's based on their ad revenue and things like that, and they don't get paid if the article doesn't get opened. So she needs to make sure that she's writing, first of all, that she's writing a lot of articles and that people are encouraged or enticed to open them. So that's where you get your clickbaity headlines. That's where you get your, I think they should name Deshaun Watson the starter ASAP, and here's why. Or that's why you get 10 posts every day that say, in case you missed it, in case you missed it, in case you missed it, just reposting the articles. But it's a different business model, and I'm very, very grateful that I'm not in that side of things. I tried it. I tried it with Dog Pound Daily. Longtime listeners probably remember. I wrote, it wasn't a ton, maybe 10, 15 articles for them one year. Started out, and it was cool at first. I was really excited about it until I realized, man, I just put a whole crap ton of time and effort and research into this article, ... Yeah, I didn't make any money because nobody opened the article. The headline wasn't clickbaity enough. Or I'm like, you know what? I'm not going down this road. I'm not going to go this way where I'm trying to essentially, I hate to say it this way, but sort of trick people into opening my article, even though I feel like the stuff I wrote was good. Because it's just like the show. Well researched, I would hope you guys view it as, but whatever. That is my little spiel. I'll get off my soapbox here about Tony and Mary Kay. But Kevin, thank you for the voicemail, or thank you for the message. And then I got one last voicemail, and this one is from Jersey Justin.
What's up, Dog Podcast? Your friendly Browns fan out here in Jersey, chiming in here. Just wanted to reiterate how good it feels that we just did so well on the draft this year, and it just feels good to feel good right now, Want to talk about Sorsby talk. That seems to be the new topic of discussion, right? The kid out of Cincinnati. In my opinion, I would absolutely stay away from it. I think, definitely not a first or second round pick. What I spend on him. Third, I agree with you on that, Josh. I think you said third would be the earliest, draft pick you'd spend on him. I can agree with that. The only way I'm doing that, though, is and I don't know if it would work right, but if it means either Deshaun or Dylan gets booted from, if it was like Shador and, Deshaun or Dylan, I guess, and him, but one of them, got moved, I'm just not a fan of Dylan Gabriel's play. I don't think he's a starting quarterback, in the NFL. And Deshaun, obviously, nobody's really a fan of that guy. But I guess what I'm saying is the only way I would spend is if it meant one of them would get booted. But in all reality, like, he's got complications. We're on a good path right now. Let's just stay away from the Sorsby thing and just move forward. We got excitement going into the season. Let's keep that ball rolling. Anyway, go Browns. Ooh.
Jersey Justin with the quote of the year, it feels like, as a Browns fan. Just feels good to feel good. I love that. I love it. Feels good to feel good. Yes, it does, because we don't get that all the time as Browns fans. I say that all the time. Is just enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that by all accounts, by everybody who grades the draft and talks about results, the Browns won the draft. And then you get all the people, well, hang the banner. Shut up. Just shut up. Hang the banner. Off-season champs. Shut up. Just shut up. Okay? It feels good to feel good. We did something right for once. Does it work out on the field for us? Not usually. Okay? I get that. But you know what? Maybe this time it will. And that's the essence of being a Browns fan. Maybe this time it'll work out. There's always next year until you get to next year, and then it's like, nah, it's this year. And then, after you lose so many games, it's like, okay, well, there's always next year. We just keep going, baby. We're like, we're cockroaches. You can't kill us. You can't keep us down. We will come back. We will always be here. But anyway, just to talk about the Brendan Sorsby thing real quick to wrap it up with that. Yes, I think obviously like a first round pick on Brendan Sorsby, you would need to be so. I know Mary Kay said she would use a first round pick. I think she said that. Or no, she said she would use a second round pick. It was Todd McShay that said he would use a first round pick to get Brendan Sorsby. It's kind of all over the place. Some people, scouts and evaluators that I listen to and have read about Sorsby say, I don't really see it. I don't really see the first round projection. Other people say, this dude's the real deal. Like, this is legit. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what I believe. I haven't done a comprehensive film study myself, so I can't give you guys anything from that perspective. First round pick, no. Like, you would have to be so confident in a couple things. One, you'd have to be so confident that he can be your future to do a first round pick for him. Two, you'd have to be so confident that your first round pick next year is going to be outside of the range of getting a quarterback in the 27 draft. Like, you would have to be so confident that you're going to win 8, 9, 10 games or more this year to feel good about flipping a first round pick to say, I want to get out in front of this 2027 draft class. There's a lot of teams that are going to be vying for quarterbacks in that class, and we don't think we're going to be in the range to organically get one. I'll listen to that argument. Again, I'll listen to any argument about a quarterback until we have a first round or until we have a locked in, solidified, unquestioned starter at the position. Obviously, you guys know I believe in Shador Sanders. I want him to get the chance this year. I want to see what he can do. I want to know if he's the answer or if he's not. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying I want to freaking know. I would like the opportunity to find out. But again, until you got that locked in, guaranteed starter, you have to investigate every potential answer at the position. Right now, Brendan Sorsby is a potential answer. Second round pick, still a little rich. But not. I wouldn't be angry if they came out of an evaluation, all their investigation, research and stuff into Sorsby and said, you know what? Again, let's get out ahead of this first round race to the quarterbacks next year, and let's just get this guy now. They bid a second round pick, they get him. Cool. You always have this situation that comes up where if he's not going to be the guy, or you know it was a bad move, you still have that first round pick in 27. And that's even saying he plays in 2026. There's talk about maybe he's even suspended to start his career. I don't know. I don't know what the whole situation is going to come out like. It is probably something, Justin, like you said, where Kenny was saying this last week, Kenny Mack. It might just be better to avoid the situation. That could be true. I won't argue with anybody. It's like, listen, this kid's got gambling addiction problems. He's already checked himself into a facility. Do we really want to mess around with it? We had the whole situation with the Guardians and their game, maybe we just stay away. You know what? I wouldn't fight you on that. Maybe we just stay away. It just really comes down to what the coaches and the scouts see on film and what they feel is the situation off the field. But a third-round pick, fine. I mean, we used a third-round pick on Dylan Gabriel. I'd much rather have Brendan Sorsby. I'd much rather use a third-round pick flyer on him. And anything after that, if you get him for a fourth or something, it's just like, okay, it's just stupid not to. So there is a point where I think we all agree, whether we're in or out on Sorsby, I think there's a point where we all kind of merge together and say, okay, now at that point, go ahead and give it a try. But we'll see how that situation plays out. It's obviously going to be a very, very heavily talked about topic until there's a resolution. So we don't even know. We don't even know if he's going to go in the supplemental draft or if he'll keep his eligibility. We still don't know. But Justin, thank you for the voicemail. Thanks for being a part of the Dog Pack. You too, Zach. Appreciate you guys so much. And I hope everybody out there is just having a great week. Enjoy it. It's May. We're out of the muck and grime of the winter. We got sunshine and warmer weather, and summer's coming our way. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, OTA is coming up. The voluntary stuff, and then the mandatory stuff, and then the break, training camp. Here we go. Football is right around the corner. You guys can just smell it. But again, schedule release Thursday night, 8 o'clock. We'll be doing a show. I think we're going to do a YouTube live. That's the plan anyhow. We'll see. Again, with Blake's schedule being so shaky and hit or miss, we might just end up recording it and posting it afterward. But just stay tuned. We'll let you guys know what we plan to do, what we decide. But we'll react to the Browns' official 2026 schedule on Friday. You guys will either see it Friday or Saturday. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you guys. Best audience in the world. Make sure you guys hang out with the best Browns fans, the best online community you can be a part of. The Dog Pack. JoinTheDogs.com. Get in now. Hang out with everybody. Introduce yourself. Get in the conversations. It's so fun. Everybody's just in there with open arms for every new member. And there's great conversation, great debate. It's where sometimes I go if I just need to bounce an idea off of people that I don't want to get berated on social media because there's just so many yahoos and morons out there on social media. It's like, it's not even worth asking this opinion here. I'm going to ask my people in the Dog Pack their opinion, and I get some really good feedback. So thank you guys. Thank you, Brad Moneymaker, always keeping me up to snuff on the news. He tags me on everything that I haven't had a chance to see yet on X. So, you guys see my posts on social media. A lot of it is thanks to Mr. Brad Moneymaker. So you guys rock in the Dog Pack, and I appreciate you guys a ton. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Let's go Browns.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.
When I found out I was going to be a parent, I immediately felt a lot of anxiety and worry. So I went on to BetterHelp to try to look for a therapist to help me with that.
My relationship with my family and with my boyfriend and with myself were suffering. I really needed help.
I was ruminating a lot. Really getting those thoughts out to a therapist and getting feedback was just life-changing.
Discover what BetterHelp Online Therapy can do for you. Visit BetterHelp.com today.